both the holiday and the new movie right around the corner, I thought I should bring something to your attention that you may have missed along the way. The Halloween franchise isn't about Michael Myers or even Dr. Loomis. It's about Laurie Strode and the way the events of October 31st, 1978 played out in her life and the lives of those around her. Now sure, Michael Myers is a slasher icon, but these movies work best when he is an absolute, with no motivation for his actions other than simply being the embodiment of pure evil. But since the first film, each sequel, with the exception of Season of the Witch, has tried to find a way to explain Michael, and has done so mostly through the lens of Dr. Samuel Loomis, his psychiatrist. But neither of them is really the anchor of these stories. In each movie, they're both just chasing ties to Laurie Strode. Now, in the first sequel, it's revealed that Laurie is actually Michael's sister, and that killing her like he did his older sister was his original motivation. Then, when he returned after that, it was for her daughter. Then there was a cult who was using him as a conduit for a Celtic demon that sacrifices families or something. And then they realized that the Celtic demon thing was a step too far, and they hit the reset button to erase all of that and brought back Laurie. But even then, it was Michael coming back for her because her son was now the same age she was in the first film. Then when he finally kills her in Resurrection, he just tries to go home out of it, but for some reason, Busta Rhymes is there.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
And we all thought that would be it for the original Laurie Strode timeline. After that, Rob Zombie came in and rebooted the films and gave Michael, some would argue, way too much backstory and motivation. Like, I empathized with Michael Myers, and we're not supposed to do that. He's literally described as absolute evil, and I'm not supposed to relate to that. But that's why it's so important to bring the series back, particularly right now, and make it clear that this is a story about Laurie Strode and how she has been carrying this trauma with her for the last 40 years and how it's affected her family. That's what the new movie is exploring. Trauma and grief like she's experienced stays with you, but not just you, it can be passed on through generations, which is why having Laurie Strode, her daughter, and her granddaughter, who have all felt the weight of that Halloween night, confronting Michael Myers and what, thanks to the film's retconning, was a random act of horrific violence. In this timeline, there are no familial ties behind his pursuit of Laurie. She was just a teenage girl dropping off keys like her dad asked her to, and Michael Myers saw her and fixated on her, and that was that. She didn't do anything. He just picked her because she was there and he saw her. It's what makes this current return to Haddonfield so incredibly timely. Now more than ever, the perpetrators of trauma and terror are being held accountable by survivors who are done being victims and are ready to confront what was done to them. In Laurie's last return, she was presented as someone who was afraid and running. She used alcohol as a coping mechanism and had her family push her away because her fear was destructive and consuming. That's not the case now. It's clear from the first trailer for this movie that this version of Laurie hasn't been hiding from Michael for the last 40 years. She's been training and getting angrier and waiting for the chance to make him pay for what he did to her and her friends. And it's refreshing to see that. Laurie Strode is the original final girl, and she deserves to step out and become someone who isn't just fighting for survival, but is fighting for retribution. But giving Laurie a resolution she deserves is not only what brought Jamie Lee Curtis back, but also John Carpenter, who served as a composer and creative consultant on the film, written by director David Gordon Green along with Danny McBride and Jeff Fradley. Halloween is the original slasher, and while the franchise is nothing if not inconsistent, this has been touted as a return to form that lives up to its place as a proper sequel to the original. And I think it's clear that that can be traced back to not only the presence of Laurie Strode, but this particular version of Laurie Strode. And I, for one, cannot wait to check it out. And luckily, that wait is over. Halloween is in theaters on October 19th. So, do you agree that Halloween is Laurie's story? Which film is your favorite? Let us know in the comments, and remember, Fright Hype and Crypt TV are all over the internet. Until next time, keep the horror on the screen and off the street. I'll see you then.
Watch new scary vids every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday.